Well, I usually like to ask people kind of how they got interested in music, and then kind of what led you to go into the kind of the Irish and Scottish realm of music.
I started out listening to a lot of bluegrass music, and a lot of the bluegrass tunes that you hear are old Scottish and Irish tunes that they brought over, and the people settled in the Appalachian Mountains, and it just changed a little bit. But some of the tunes we play, they still play in the Appalachian Mountains, and they've maybe changed the key, changed the instruments, but they're still the same tunes.
Right.
And like I said, I started out playing bluegrass, but I fell in love with the Irish style and the Irish sound, and I started playing Scottish and Irish music.
So did you have music lessons as a kid, or did you just kind of pick it up?
The pipes, I belonged to St. Andrews, Springfield, Illinois pipe band, and I played with them for about 7, 8 years, and that's where I learned to play the Highland pipes. And the fingering on the small pipes is the same as the Highland pipes, so there wasn't that much of a transition. But it was a lot of fun.
So you're pretty much self-taught on your instruments.
Yeah,
Yeah, I grew up listening to bluegrass, mostly Flat and Scruggs. Still my favorite. You know, everybody thinks of Bill Monroe, and I didn't kind of go that route. Somebody left a Flat and Scruggs record at my parents' house one time, that and a Johnny Cash record, and I listened to those things over and over and over. And then eventually fell in love with the Dirt Band and kind of got into, you know, doing kind of folk and bluegrass type stuff. And I think the first time I heard anything that was really Irish, I mean, I knew the bluegrass had some Irish influence, and the first time I heard anything like that was Dave Bromberg, and started kind of looking at, you know, fiddle tunes more closely. And yeah, I played in a couple different bands in the early 80s in the Peoria area, mostly progressive bluegrass stuff, and just kind of came around to Irish stuff, you know, via Joe, or back around, and got interested in the other mandolin family instruments.
And did you have music lessons as a kid? Or?
I had drum lessons when I was in school for about 2 years, and played in the high school or the grade school band, and my mom forced me to take guitar lessons. Of course, where I grew up, everybody wanted to be Dan Fogelberg, and you know, I listened to a lot of that kind of stuff. And eventually, what happened was I really wasn't that interested in the guitar, but my brother forced me to learn some chords to back him up on.
Because he's a fiddle player.
Yeah, fiddle player, mandolin, and that kind of stuff. So, you know, it was forcibly at first, but I grew to like it.
That's the way it is sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah. You want to try off California?
sure. penny whistle and octave mandolin have a real good contrast. The bass and the high
Right.
sounds.
How about we try another fiddle tune? You game for Mrs. McLeod's reel?
Sure.
Most of the tunes you're trying to do are kind of from the late 1700s, early 1800s, is that
Yeah,
the
for the
period
most-
of most of these? Or
Yeah, for the
some of
most
them-
part, I
Some of
think.
them are older, maybe?
Yeah, some of them are.
And I believe off to California would be a little newer, but most of them, other than that one, around that time period. This is a perfect example of the tunes that come over and that's been changed a little bit. You'll hear this played over in Ireland and Scotland, and you'll hear it played in the Appalachian Mountains too.
Yeah, there are some words to it, I believe.
Well, they've
Some
changed it.
people-
I think it's, have you ever been courting Uncle Joe?
Uncle Joe, have you ever been to, yeah, courting Uncle Joe, yeah.
Going to see the devil, Uncle Joe.
Yeah.
So,
Several
but it's-
different verses to it,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's one of those
Is
tunes.
your horse a single footer or something, there's a verse like that, whatever that is, I don't know. Well, you have done, you recorded a CD, I believe, right? I have a